This is Salwa Al-Jahain. Today I will be talking about my research, starting with my topic, which is using developer eye movements to assess expertise while reading source code. As we know, code reading is an important skill that increases with expertise. And to become an expert programmer, you should master the skills of reading and writing source code. Identifying expertise level while reading source code could be done by studying the developer's reading behaviors and strategies while reading the source code. And that would help to provide appropriate support to developers to improve their productivity and expertise. And also, it could open door for tools in education to enhance program comprehension and designing helpful instruction tools guiding developers through the learning process. Comes to the research questions, I want to address here in this study two questions. The first one is, how do experts and novices compare in focusing on multiple source code elements? Method signature, identifiers, types, operators, keywords, arguments, names and types in if condition statements, else statements, else if, and while statements. The second question is, which parts of the code are mostly locked and get the attention by the participants? For the data sets we use in this study, I used dataset collected in 2015. They conducted an eye tracking study on a large source code in open source system, JabRef. There were 22 developers conducted this study. 12 experts and 10 novices worked on 3 different change tasks to find the bugs and fix it if possible. I used the eye gaze data from one task, and I analyzed 18 participants' eye gaze, 10 experts and 8 novices. Related to our approach, we used SourceML tool to extract the following source code elements list from the source code. For each list, it will include the term, what's the exact term, and the line number, the column number. For each navigation area of what's listed here. Then we mapped this list to the eye gaze data which generated by the participants. After the mapping process and count the percentage of the elements looked by the participants for each navigation area, we found that for all examined navigation areas, novices looked for and covered more source code elements than expert. Then, after we calculated the average of source code coverage in each area of the navigation parts we used in the study, we test the significance of the difference between the two groups. We used the Mann-Whitney test for this purpose to compare the two means, and we found that the difference is statistically significant between experts and novices in reading identifiers, method signatures, variable names and types, keywords, also for reading more details in the source code, like operators and names in else statements. This slide shows that the method signatures comes at the first of the source code elements that get the participant attentions. To conclude the work, so we analyzed existing dataset to study the strategies and behaviors of participants while reading source code. We found that expert and novices are different in reading source code, and novices tend to read more details and covered more elements than experts. For the future work, we want to use and replicate the study using additional eye tracking data collected from different code activity. And we want to identify the expertise using different type of the measurement like tracking, eye tracking metrics.